So I watched the Little Bear movie because I didn't think that watching the TV show would be that much fun. I've reviewed kid shows that I used to watch as a kid on the channel before, like Lab Rats, Kicking It, Good Luck Charlie. But those are like sitcoms, action. There's stuff that can be enjoyed by adults and kids. Stuff like Little Bear, Dora the Explorer, Go Diego Go, and like other kid shows that I used to watch as a kid probably won't be covered on this channel. I won't say never, and I won't say for sure, but I just don't think that that's something that I would be willing to sit through. They're more like stuff literally made for young children for, life lessons and shit. Which this has a bit of life lessons in it, but they're not too overt and they don't like bash you over the head with it. So there honestly isn't much to talk about. I will say I thought it was very silly that pretty much every character in the movie besides two were just named the animal they were. Little Bear is Little Bear, Mama Bear is Mama Bear, Papa Bear is Papa Bear. He meets a new friend who's named Cub because, he's a bear cub. His friends are named Cat, Goose, and Owl and Chicken. They meet other characters in the movie, like there's a moose named Moose, and so on and so on. Even the main villain of the movie is a mountain lion named Mountain Lion. The only characters in this movie that actually have a different name are the Cubs' friends, Poppy and Petey, which are two foxes. Um, it's just kind of a silly movie. It's a little bear learning more about the wilderness, and he meets a cub who's a wild cub who starts to learn more about, not being a wild bear. I will say they do lean more with Little Bear teaching the cub things more than the cub teaching Little Bear things. They literally cut off a scene where the cub tries to teach Little Bear how to fish, and instead they just have Papa Bear, you know, catch fish with a fishing pole. Um, so we really don't learn much about the cub. We see him like struggle to adapt to things and like some things. He sees that you have to cook food. He's used to eating it raw, like just eating fish. Um, he learns what syrup is. He learns what playing pretend is. It's just kind of a silly kids movie. The mountain lion is the villain, and he just wants to eat everybody. That's like his whole thing. Like he was literally gonna try and eat Little Bear in the cub, until a big moose showed up, and then later he tries to eat the duck. Um, but then Poppy and Petey, who have just met this duck, by the way, they are definitely real ones. They just fucking pounce on the mountain lion, saving the duck that they just met, risking their lives for a duck that once again they just met, which I think is pretty crazy. Um, but with it only being an hour and I believe it was 10 minutes, it's really not that bad of a watch. It was kind of cool to see a show that I used to love all the time as a kid, even though this is just a TV movie basically. I had read online that this was technically the series finale, and it honestly doesn't really feel like it. But I guess that's not necessarily a bad thing.